So we're going to jump into meditation here so you can get ready, get comfortable, sit upright. Think of it like when your spine is straight, it's like a lightning rod, right? It's like when a tree gets struck by lightning or a lightning rod. You don't want to be a tree because then you'll break in half. But that lightning rod, as it's vertical, it could take that lightning strike in and maybe even harness that energy. So we want to harness that energy. And sometimes our creative intuition strikes like lightning, and sometimes it drips. It drips in one tiny drip at a time over a decade, right? Or maybe it's something in between. Maybe it's like changing, like a river that rages and then that becomes a stream and then becomes a trickle and then it rages again, right? It's okay. There's no one right way. Everybody is different. It might come to you in the shower, when you're walking, when you're exercising, when you're meditating. Be real with when it comes to you and how it comes to you. That's all you can do. You don't want to copy me or anybody else, right? There's this, what's the saying? Uh, Everybody is born an original, but most people die copies. Our work is to remember that originality and see if we could tap into it again and again and again. And you were born with a blueprint. You were born with a creative destiny. Whether you fulfill that destiny or not, that is up to you. But you were born with one. I can guarantee it. And like I said at the beginning of this class, we've got a short amount of time on this planet. And are you going to really decide to look at what it is, get through the pain, and do the work? Or are you going to wait until some miracle happens? Either we wait for a miracle or a travesty of some kind, right? Like life really hits us hard in some way, or we're hoping for a miracle. That's not how a pro works. A pro, that's what an amateur does. I'll wait for life to break me to start again from the bottom, or I will wait for a miracle. That's an amateur. A pro does not expect or wait for anything. They do the work every single day, and that includes meditation. If your life's goal is awakening to enlightenment, it's the same formula, right? You sit down and meditate every day like a pro. I mean, you're in a beginner's mind, but you know that you're not going to get up even if there's pain or resistance or fear or invalidation. You know that you're going to use those energies to create your life path. That's the difference between an amateur and a pro creator. Let's do it. Eyes closed, get nice and comfortable. Maybe get nice and uncomfortable. I'm going to make you uncomfortable and tell you some more of those terrible jokes. Take a nice big deep breath in. Easy, soft sigh out. And if we want to be real creators, really tap into that creative intuition, then we have to recognize how much value we have. If you don't recognize your value, then why would you bother creating something, right? I love this Terence McKenna quote. He's a philosopher who died a while back. He said, scientists always, when they talk about the Big Bang, they always say, just give me one miracle and I'll explain the rest. I love that, right? We all came out of nothing and here we are. You were born out of an infinite nothing. Here you are. And that same creative impulse that made you is trying to come out of you, move through you. You are it, and it wants to take its next step. It wants to take its next step and create. But if we don't see our own value as that miracle, then we'll just wait for devastation or for the next miracle. You're already given a miracle. Here you are. The miracle already happened. And I think, as Elizabeth Gilbert said, the worst thing that's ever going to happen to you already happened. So the miracle and the devastation is already behind you. And now it's time to do the work. Okay? So eyes closed, let your shoulders drop a little bit away from your ears. And let's just start with grounding ourselves. So I want you to imagine from the base of your spine, nice big tree trunk. Just let a nice big tree trunk just shoot out of the base of your spine right down into the core of the earth. Let it root into the earth. Just watch it. This is the beginning of awakening that creative intuition. I want you to see the tree trunk. Notice the bark. Notice the size of the trunk. Notice the color and the shape. Notice that it anchors you into the earth. This tree anchors you into the planet. This way your creativity is grounded. Do you think a tree ever asks itself, am I valuable enough to create a leaf off of one of my branches? I don't think so. Am I valuable enough to grow tall and bring down sunlight? Am I worthy of having light? Am I worthy of being 100 years old? Of being part of this forest community? I don't think the tree asks that. It knows that it is. So does the lion. So does the eagle. So does the insect. So does the blade of grass. It's only the human that turns on himself, goes, am I worth anything? And even that is part of the creative intuition awakening. This self-reflective awareness is in the beginning stages of waking up, and it's inspecting itself. Who am I? What am I? I don't feel good. My life expectancy is short. Do I have value? What should I do while I'm here? I want you to let any of those feelings, any of that invalidation, any of that energy you might experience, you can watch it drain down the trunk of that tree, that grounding cord, and just let it go into the earth. Can you let go some of that noisy invalidation? It's just a reflection of your evolving consciousness. Don't take it so personally. And you can recognize it's just a form of energy. Invalidation, criticism, judgment, they're just forms of energy. You become aware of the energy. You recognize, okay, thanks. That helps me become more aware of who I am. I don't think invalidation is my last stop on this train. I don't think that's where it ends. I appreciate it. It's helping me become aware of my value. And I could let that layer peel off. and go down into the earth. And what is the energy here that may be affecting your ability to be in touch with your creative intuition? Is it something that sits on top of your knowingness or keeps you from seeing clear images? And let's do a little technique here to help you get out of your own way. So I want you to just have your awareness right behind your eyes in the center of your head. Open up that third eye, that mind's eye, where you see images from. Your physical eyes are closed. With your mind's eye, you can see images. I want you to create an image of a beautiful bright red rose right out in front of you, just floating with its green stem right out in front of you. Let's take a look at it for a moment. And then all of a sudden one of the petals just comes off and it floats towards you. And by the way, if you can't see, pretend you can see and then see what you see. So one of these petals just floats at you and lands in your hand. And you take a look at it, and then you can see in gold, almost like gold writing, it shows you, it tells you, maybe it shows you an image or it tells you in words, one area in your life that you're working on healing or becoming more aware of that's helping you develop your creative intuition. So we might say your certainty, clarity, self-acceptance, love. Let it tell you what's one area related to your creative intuition that you're deepening and developing into that wants some attention. You're taking a look at this and you're just getting that awareness. One area in your life that wants some attention to help you develop that creative intuition, awaken that creative intuition. And if you're like, David, I can't see, I'm unsure, then it might be clarity. It might be certainty. If you experience uncertainty, then it might be certainty. If you just feel sad, then it might be healing, something in your emotional body, letting go. And as I always say, the only real way through here is self-honesty. Not what I think, just you being really honest with yourself. What is it for you? That's the only thing that matters. What is it for you? You might even be surprised by the answer. When you have some clarity around what it is, you just let that flower petal just almost turn into dust in your hand. Just floats away the dust, kind of gold flakes, just floats up into the sky. Feel a sense of patience. A true creator is diligent, persistent, and patient. I'll say that again. A true creator is diligent, patient, and persistent. And that includes in your meditation and in how you treat yourself. You can't treat your creations better than yourself because they are an extension of yourself. You take a look back out at that rose in front of you, and then the rose just gets a little bit closer and it tilts over so you can see into the bulb in the middle. And in the middle of your rose, there's like this golden orb of light that was hidden before by the petals. And now you could see it. And you can peer into this golden orb of light, and it just starts to show you the next form your creative intuition or your creative energy wants to take. What is the next form your creative energy wants to take? And it could be anything. Leave it totally wide open with no agenda and just let it show you. You might see an image inside that golden orb of light. Or you might get a knowingness. Recognize the really cool thing here is just like the miracle that created the first moment of creation, that also created you, is also here to create this, and it is no less important. This creation is no less important than the creation of life itself. The only one judging its value is you, right? Saying it's not worth enough, or maybe it is, or if I'm good enough, then other people will notice it is. But the deep, deep truth here is something entirely different. It has nothing to do with what you think. The truth has nothing to do with what you think, positive or negative. The truth is what it is. The same life force that created everything that exists is pulling you to create this. It's whispering in your ear. It's inspiring you to breathe life into it. And it's your choice. If you had a gauge from 0 to 100 of what your true creative value was, and you really understood what it was, it would break that gauge into 1,000 pieces. The way a star, it has thousands, countless nuclear explosions in it every moment. when you really tap into that creative intuition, it breaks all those gauges, all the charts. It's so beyond what you think is possible. The whole point of creation is to go beyond what we think is possible. It pulls us to the next level of evolution. If you only do what you think is possible, then you'll miss out on so much of the impossible that's waiting for you to create it. I want you to take this image of whatever it is that you're looking to create. I want you to make it exponentially bigger, like you see it projected out into the stars. Beings can see it for many, many light years away. Whoa, somebody over there is really creating something super big and bright. It's lighting up the entire galaxy. The whole star system sees it. I want you to smile at it. Recognize maybe your human ego will never fully understand it. That's not its job. It's more here to kind of protect your physical body. But something deep in your spirit understands it and gets it. The great things we create always transcend our rationality. They always transcend our intellectuality. And then that image, all of a sudden, it shrinks down into a little tiny star. It just into a star. It's like all the other stars in the sky. And then this star, it's like a really cool gold star. It slowly just floats right into the center of your chest. Just lands right in the center of your heart center. And it's here. It's like a seed that's sitting in your chest. And over time, it's going to birth into a real creation in the physical world if you want it to. Go ahead and take that rose. You can let it go. It served its purpose. Let it dissipate out into the stars. And just notice this feeling inside yourself that life is worth living. Life is very much worth living and it's very much worth creating. And you are very worthy of creating it. And you can feel, hear, see, and know what's really, really true for you. And you're going to be a pro about it. Even if the entire world criticizes you, you're going to be a pro about it. And you're going to sit down and do the work, whatever kind of work it is. Take a nice big deep breath in. soft, easy sigh out. Great job. When you're ready, you can slowly open your eyes and stretch.